What's good, everyone? I just wanted to quickly say thank you. 1.7 subs feels unreal. If you enjoy the content and you're not subscribed, just drop a like and follow, please. It helps the channel a lot. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone except for you, Logan. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Yeah, we're watching Surviving Childhood Punishments by Tommy NFG. Let's get straight into it.
Being born into the world is a blessing and curse. You're born not knowing a single thing. And to learn these things, your parents choose an array of choices to teach you some life lessons. Like, life is really messed up when you think about it. First off, you're born into the world without your consent, have to adjust to the world around you, and get punished for things you didn't even know were bad. Like, how was I supposed to know I can't stare at the disabled man, mom and dad? So I want to go through some childhood punishments and—
Yo, everyone watching, comment down below. What's the worst childhood punishment you ever got?
I'll also be ranking them on certain factors. The belt. It's crazy how the belt is like the most universal child punishment around the world. Your parents could be from America.
You know what? I never got the belt, but like some of my mates did, and I sympathize with them. You get me? Like, but you know, then again, it does teach them not to do it. Like, I feel like in moderation, it's okay. But like certain parents, when they're overdoing it, that's just child abuse.
South America, Africa, Asia. They all unite against one evil by beating the out their kids with belts. For the belt, I feel like there's a certain age limit where a parent has to stop doing it though. Because you can only do it for so long.
Yeah, words, you know, they get to a certain age. I'd say that age is, you know, it's probably, depending if it's a mum or dad, you get me? But I'd say that 15 and above, you know, they're gonna start developing. You get what I mean? They're gonna start growing. You know, they're gonna start getting some power. So they're gonna be able to grab that belt, fight it back. You get what I mean? Then what?
Long until that kid has had enough and catches it to reverse it on your ass. Like, I probably stopped getting the belt after 7 years old. And with the belt, I'm kind of kerfuffled on it because I feel like it's needed and it's not needed at the same time. It all just depends on the scenario. Like, if my kid decides to take a baseball bat and break my $1,000 flat screen TV, you're damn right, I'm whooping that kid like it's before Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And I feel like belt whoopings are needed now more than ever. Have y'all seen how much kids have been wilding online recently?
Well, I can't lie, I couldn't agree with this guy more. Like, you know, sometimes you ever see a kid and then, you know, they're just doing some dumb shit, you get me? And you're like, you know what? They need a weapon, they need a bit of a weapon.
I be seeing little kids posting videos of them vaping, assaulting strangers for some tic-tac views, and this all stopped because parents want to what? Not emotionally scar their child with physical punishment. You'll get over it. But then you got parents growing up who would whip their kids for the littlest of things. You could tell some parents just try taking their frustration out on something. Like, you might as well get a punching bag because your kid's not supposed to be it. And then they'd be surprised when they end up in a nursing home acting like nothing ever happened. The belt either machoed you up and prepared you for the real world, or left you with psychological—
I feel like there's a good balance, you know. When they're doing it too much, that's when it's all like the psychological pain, all that. But you know, if you've like really misbehaved, you get me. If little Timmy over here has just broken two of my windows, you know, broken my car windows as well, and I'll give him a weapon and a belt. I feel like that's reasonable. You get me?
Psychological scarring buried deep in your heart that attaches to every friendship and relationship you'll ever stumble in the rest of your life, causing lifelong insecurities in yourself. Probably the second one for most people. Effectiveness, 8 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 100 out of 10. Yelling. Now, a lot of people consider getting yelled at as a kid is at least better than getting whooped. But I don't know how controversial this is. I feel like it's worse most times. As a kid, I barely remember the times I was whooped because it was so long ago, more than the times I was yelled at for doing something wrong. And the worst part is, you know you can't talk back, so you just gotta pace back and forth in your room, thinking of all the you say, but you can't say it because you know if you talk back, then you're getting the belt. And even when you did slightly talk back or—
I can't lie. Like I said before, innit? I think this applies with most. You get me? In moderation. Like, I don't think yelling's a bad thing. If they've done something bad, you know, you get what I mean? You gotta let them know that's not okay, because otherwise they're gonna keep doing it. You don't want a kid that's like a little shit. You get what I mean? But I think probably the best mood, which is probably in this video, I'd say either, grounding, taking away devices, just stuff like that over other things. That yelling, it can be over the top at times.
or try to at least tell them your point, they're gonna go, oh, you talking back now? Like, yes, you're yelling at me. Was I supposed to just let it happen and not say my point? One thing I'm glad my parents never did, though, was yell at me in public. When I see a parent doing that, it'd be so embarrassing to me. Do you feel
I don't know, that's bad parenting. Like, I get in certain situations, but like, most of the time, that's just bad parenting.
no shame? And that's what they do in public. If I see a parent doing that, I can tell that child is definitely getting abused. CPS will be called to that home shortly. The worst feeling, though, was getting yelled at for something you never did. That's when I really learned what a false accusation is.
Oh my god. I've got too many stories about that one.
Then when they realized their mistake, you never got an apology and had to take it on the chin. Ooh, that.
Word. I think the most I ever got was like, oh, my bad. I thought different.
That would have me heated. Effectiveness, 9 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 10 out of 10. The hand. Another universal tool that can replace the belt is the hand. And even better, it's free. Honestly, I'd prefer the hand over the belt because at least the stinging will go away faster. But I never really got hit with the hand as a kid. I feel like the hand is a gateway to child abuse because it takes one day where you cuff the hand.
I can't lie, I'll be real. Like, okay, this sounds kind of dumb what I'm about to say, but in my opinion, the hand's worse than the belt. Because like the belt, it hurts more, but it just physically hurts more, but a hand's personal, you get what I mean?
Hand and turn it into a fist and end up Mike Tysoning your child and ending up in prison. Effectiveness, 7 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 8 out of 10. Grounding. Alright, we're lowering the intensity a little bit with something simple. Being grounded was a minus or plus depending on what type of kid you were. Like, kids nowadays probably don't give a f if their parents tell them they're grounded because they can hop on their iPad and play Fortnite.
I can't lie. But back when I was still getting grounded, when I was little, I didn't have anything. You get what I mean? Like, I didn't have like electronics at the time. Like, I think the last time I got grounded, that must have been like around 9 or 10. I think around 10 when I got my first phone. And after that, I wasn't really getting grounded anymore. Like, I can't lie, if I did get grounded, I'd just be on my phone. But I think they're trying to get me out of the house more than they're trying to keep me in. You get what I mean? Just trying to not put up with me because I'm a little shit. But I feel that for grounding to be effective, they have to take away all devices as well.
Fortnite and Roblox while talking to their friends. But before the iPad generation, being grounded as a kid was basically being put in prison. You would
literally like, oh my god. Sorry for pausing the video so much, but oh my god, especially when you're grounded, and your mates would come up to the door. Oh, can the Foza come out to play? And they're like, no, sorry, he's grounded for a week. That week would feel like months on end, like just solitary confinement. You get what I mean? Like, that used to be like hell.
Get home from school and see kids in your neighborhood frolicking and having fun while you gotta just stare from your window, isolated alone. Your homies are all out on the basketball court or soccer field and you're just imagining how much fun you could be having. If you had siblings, they were probably outside too as well, so you were just stuck isolated alone. And imagine that feeling for weeks.
I can't know. The worst I've ever been grounded. At one point, I didn't even do anything, but like a kid started on me. A kid started on me when I was smaller, and they started trying to fight me, and I didn't even do anything. I was like, and then they hit me, and I hit back, and then the kid then went and flipped the story, and how I'm the bad person, and I got grounded for 3 weeks. This was before I had any electronics, anything like that. I got grounded for 3 weeks. Actually, thinking about it, I think I got my first electronic when I was like 8. Because I did have like a laptop before that I used to just watch YouTube on. I couldn't run anything else, couldn't run Roblox, couldn't run nothing like that. Just YouTube. But yeah, back to the point. And it got flipped on me. And then all of a sudden, you know, I was the bad guy. I got grounded for 3 weeks. It would have been better if it was during school because then I would have still got to see mates. But it was during the summer holidays and everyone was telling me stories of what they did over those 3 weeks. And I was like, sad there. I was like, I felt like I was in like a cell, like counting the days on the walls. Like, it was bad.
For months. Not fun. Effectiveness, 9 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 10 out of 10. Timeouts. Timeouts gotta be the weakest punishment of all time. Like, out of all things you're gonna do to me, all
I've never been timed out.
gotta do is sit in that corner for 30 minutes? I'll gladly take it over any of the punishments before this. The only time timeouts were embarrassing is when you got them in school. Not only are you getting a
What do you know about the timeouts with the sand timers? That way they sit you in the corner facing the wall and all you'd have is a sand timer next to you and they'd be like, yeah, here's a third. Each time they step it up, first it's a 5 minute, then it's a 10 minute. Then it goes on to the 20 minute and then the 30 minute. But sometimes, it dependent, if you're just being a little shit, they put you on a 10 minute. And then if you get caught again, they'd just straight to 30. Oh my god. Those 30 minutes, I'm telling you, just staring at that. And if you turn around, no, keep looking at the wall. Oh my god. That used to be something else. I'm not even gonna lie.
embarrassed in front of your homies, but also the host. What if my crush was there? And I guarantee they
Yo, that bang, Loki made me jump. I thought somebody just banged on my door.
gonna remember that moment up until graduation, so bye-bye to any chance you had. And now that I'm older and bolder and graduated, I can finally say it. F you, Miss Harris. With your dirty ass lips, I make double what you make now. I'll put your ass in timeout. Okay, sorry. But my limit for timeouts would be like...
He's got personal beef with his teacher.
Like an hour. If you got timeouts for like 6 hours or something, then they might as well have thrown you into solitary confinement. Effectiveness, 3 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 3.5 out of 10. Soap in the mouth. I didn't even know this was legit a punishment.
First time I ever swore in front of my parents I got this. And I remember this because it was the first time and the only time this happened. So yeah, I swore in front of my parents and they didn't use the... Sorry for that, let me silence my phone. Sorry for that, guys. They didn't use the actual squirty soaps. We had a bar of soap. And they tried to wash my mouth out with soap. And I bit the bar. I can't lie, like it's a bit weird, but like for a while after that, when I was like a kid, I'd try and nibble little bits of the pie. Like I'd hate that the original taste would be so good, and then it just turns into like some sort of disgusting taste. But like for like I'd say for like the next year and a half, like I'd kind of nibble at bits of the soup. It's so weird, but yeah, that's what caused it.
Parents did until one of my white friends told me that he never got whooped but got that. And once again, this is a walk in the park. I wish the worst punishment I got was some antibacterial dial soap on my mouth for 30 seconds. Plus it'll make your breath smell better. If anything, they're helping you. Effective.
Let me tell you, I remember after they did that, I then got caught like a couple of days later trying to take nibbles out of the soup. And they must have seen that and be like, nah, yeah, it's ain't even a punishment. It's like, he enjoys this. And they were like, no, they tried to run me down on how like grim that was. But obviously me being a dumb kid, I didn't really care, you get me? So I just done it more and see.
Effectiveness 1 out of 10. Psychological scarring 3 out of 10. Taking away stuff. Honestly, out of everything
Psychological scarring, that should be like a 1 or 2.
on this list, I put this as number 1. We grew up in such a technology-driven world even back then. When I was...
Yeah, I'd say taking away stuff. Like back then, when I was like little, I'd say grounding was probably the worst thing, because the best thing you could do is go outside, go over a mate's house. Because whenever I got grounded, I never had any of my stuff, you know. But I'd say back then the biggest form of entertainment it was, you know, going to the park, you know, going out, going to a mate's house and playing on a trampoline. Tell me why. I thought we all thought we were so creative for this game. That game where you put all the balls on the trampoline and the last one to touch it wins. Why am I finding out like years later that was just like a universal thing? Like, but going around the mate's house, going there, and my mate had a dog as well. Back in the day, my mate had a dog. And I used to love going around. I can't lie. We used to annoy the dog, and then make it chase us. The amount of times we got bit doing that, because it used to be trying to think what breed the dog was. It used to be, you know Franklin's dog Chop from GTA. It used to be the same one. It was called Chop as well. I can't think of the name now, but you know what dog I'm on about if you've ever played GTA. But it literally looked identical. We used to annoy the dog and then have it chase us and we run around. But then when we got bit, we'd be bawling. But yeah, Karen.
I was younger, if me and my brother ever f***ed up our grades, the first thing swiped from us was our console. And it's not like we could say shit we didn't pay for it. The whole gang would be on playing some type of game, meanwhile we couldn't. Even if we had our computers or phones, nothing was gonna be missing out on that party chatting game session. Luckily, I
put it second, I can't lie. But as well, as I got older and as I got a phone and as I got this punishment, it's funny because I probably started getting this punishment when I was about like 14. And yeah, 14 and a half. And I started working when I was just before I was turning 15. So I was using, well, at first I borrowed a phone off one of my mates just to have as a second phone if I ever got my stuff taken. But then after that I started buying my own phones, you get what I mean? Like nothing too fancy, but like you get me, like a second hand iPhone 8 Plus or something, or you get what I mean, just so there's something I can be on, you know. Or like when I had my PC as well, I always used to have my PC taken. Yo, I'm gonna speak quietly for this bit. I always used to have, when I used to have my PC taken, yeah, I used to have just another cable in my school bag that I'd bring with me like everywhere. So then, you know, I just kind of, you get me? I just plug it in, play anyways, just play quietly. I got caught once, but that was bad because I had to have my door open for like a month until like some stupid time, like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. But yeah, then then after that, I just done it again. Just didn't get caught this time, you know.
never even got my phone swiped because even then my parents.
But this was 100% second. This was second. I'd say getting grounded back in the day. Getting grounded and getting everything taken is probably the worst, you know. Because even if you've got backups, you know, it's still grounded and you can't go. Ow.
Taking a phone from a child in the 21st century is very dangerous and is also like throwing them in solitary confinement and only seeing the general population for an hour. Nowadays, if you take a phone from a kid though, you're basically taking their whole life away. Just look at the way those ankle-biting Gen Alpha kids act like when the iPad is swiped from them. They gain the strength of 5 prime Mike Tysons to get it back. Effectiveness 6 out of 10, psychological scarring 4 out of 10. The chancla / slipper. Another alternative to the belt, and some would even say more comparable to it. Getting hit with any
Oh my god, the slipper. Why do all mums that use a slipper just know how to perfectly aim it when they're throwing it as well? It's like, you know, they should like enter like a darts competition. I can't lie, if all mums that use a slipper entered in darts competitions, I feel like the whole league would just be, you know, mums
Slipper was way more dangerous because it could pop out at any time. The device is portable and can be used in any time of anger. Like, you could legit be running away and they throw that with 100% accuracy. It's like they got trained by military snipers on how to be the most accurate. And if you're Hispanic, there's about a 99.9% chance this was probably used more than the belt. Effectiveness 7.5 out of 10. Psychological scarring 8 out of 10. Spanking. Spanking is another one of those universal punishments that the whole world does. If you weren't getting the belt, you were...
Now, kind of, I don't know anyone. Like, I don't know any one of my mates that's been spanked. Like, I know people have been hit, you know, belt, you get me. But I've never heard of any of my mates being spanked. But I've always heard of this, but I've never, you know, actually heard of it happening to someone I know or happening to me personally.
You were getting spanked. If you weren't getting spanked, you were getting the belt. If your parents were really f***ed up, you got both. Maybe even everything combined before this. I feel like I didn't know a lot of kids that were spanked as their punishment, even though it's one of the most common punishments. I also feel you could recover from a spanking faster than getting hit with the belt. And it's always been weird to me how schools in America used to let teachers spank kids. As a matter of fact, it's not even illegal in all states. It's still allowed in night.
I can't lie, if I was a parent, like, I don't care. I don't care if my kid's been up to something, you know. If I find out a teacher's been like spanking my child, like, I'm throwing hands, I'm spanking them, you get what I mean?
18 states. If I send my child to school and they come back telling me they got paddled, that teacher's getting...
I feel like the problem is, as well, the thing is, spanking is like, you can only do it when they're little kids, you get what I mean? Because, disgustingly, there's some people out there, you know, as they're teenagers, as they start to learn what they like, there's some people out there, just odd people out there that enjoy that, you get what I mean? Like, I don't get why, but imagine like, you're trying to discipline your teenager and they're like, you get me, like, nah, no way.
Paddle by me next, and trust me,
The bout's happening. yo, what was I just saying? It's either the bout, the flip-flop, or you get me, you get Mike Tyson. No, I'm joking, I won't do that. But like, I kinda, maybe if the kid was like older, like 15, 17, around that age, like, I might be like, put the boxing gloves on, you know. That might be, you know, a form of discipline, be like, put the boxing gloves on, because, you know, that way they learn. Obviously, I'm gonna have them go into like boxing training and stuff like that as well, but like, then, you know, they learn to fend for themselves at the same time, as, you get what I mean?
I won't make it enjoyable. I'm thinking of all the times a teacher f***ed me over in class and imagining if they had the power to paddle me for that bullshit. And imagine if you got beef with one of the teachers and they paddle your child as revenge. What could you even do to stop them? And when Gen Z becomes teachers, you think I'm letting you put hands on my children? You getting boomed on the spot. Effectiveness 7 out of 10. Psychological scarring 6 out of 10. Cutting off hair. I remember seeing videos of kids getting their hair cut off as punishment, and
I can't lie. That shouldn't be a punishment, unless, like, if I had a kid that, like, for no reason was like bullying and making fun of a kid that was losing his hair due to different conditions, then I'd shave it off. But like, I feel like that's the only time I would, you know, like, I wouldn't just do it as like a normal punishment, you get what I mean? Because, you know, that's no pain, but it's all psychological, you get me? Like, then they'd be laughed at by their peers, their mates, like, everyone they know, you get me?
Always thought, no way this actually happens, right? Until someone in my school when I was younger got all his dreads cut off for getting suspended. And low-key, that worked. He was a pure peril danger thug before that. And now he's about to graduate college, so. You had to have been a bad kid for this to be your punishment. And this punishment is one of those things where you're never living it down. Because you know for a fact, if you come in that school going from a full head of hair to the nugget cut the next day, everyone knew exactly what happened to your ass and was gonna clown with you. And this is the type of where if you do it to your kid, don't expect them to speak to you after they turn 18. The school...
You know what I don't get? Kids that would do it to themselves randomly, that would have like nice looking hair, and then, you know, the kid come into school on a random Wednesday and they've just got a buzz cut, you know.
Bros are never leaving their hair.
It's funny to look at, you get me? So Don't start.
That's permanent PTSD. Effectiveness, 8.5 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 9.5 out of 10. Door taken off room. If you're a parent at the point where you have to do this to your child, I think you fail. In what purpose?
No, that's like, I would never do that, because that is like genuine like breach of privacy, like, you know, that's like next level.
Is taking the door off the room gonna teach them a lesson? I would never trust my parents for anything. You're straight up stripping my rights. And how the f would I even change? In the bathroom? Or is the door taken off that too? I don't know any kids that this happened to personally, but if you're watching this and it did, then I hope you're holding up. Effectiveness, 6 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 8 out of 10. Kicked out the house. If you got kicked out the house, then it had to have been for some absolute heinous you did. Like, this one is way too dangerous to risk. I don't even know how you could do this as a parent. If it's like for 30 minutes or an hour, I could hear it out. But if you're kicking your child out for days, then are you not worried they're gonna get kidnapped or something? Or you're gonna get charged with child neglect? And how old are we talking? Because I couldn't see you doing this to a kid below the age of 13. The world is way too dangerous to be doing this nowadays. There's no world where I'm ever doing this to my kid. Effectiveness, 6 out of 10. Psychological scarring, 8 out of 10. And last,
I can't lie, I was actually kicked out of the house a couple of times, but I think, how old was I at the time? I must have been like 11 or 12 at the time. I remember I hated my parents for ages, like years after that. When I say my parents, I mean on my mum's side, you get me? Like my mum, my stepdad. Not my dad's side, you know. I fuck with them heavy, you get me? But like, but I was lucky because I just slept over at mate's house for a couple weeks. But oh my god, I remember that right before my birthday too. Talk about happy birthday.
study. Come to think of it, this is more of a benefit than punishment. I kind of wish I got this a lot, because when I finally started to realize that adults weren't these almighty beings that can manage themselves responsibly, and everybody has no clue what they're doing, this knowledge could have helped me worlds ahead of people. The average person's reading comprehension due to massive pounding of attention span, soul-sucking content is now equivalent to an acorn. And don't get me started on math to tic-tacs. I'm very much cooked on this too. I'm one of those people that needs a calculator to add single digits. I might just be spec. Effectiveness 7 out of 10. Psychological scarring 2 out of 10. So yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. Let me know the worst punishment that happened to y'all.
How's that a 2? That should be a 1.
Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys.
Yeah, drop it below. Drop it below in the comments below the worst punishment you guys receive. Like, I genuinely am curious to hear.
Textually. And until next time, I'm out.
Anyways, that's been a good video. If you enjoyed that video, let me switch it so you can see. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Please drop a sub. You know, if it helps support the channel, you get me. Like, I appreciate it very much. And anyways, without further ado, I was about to cue the outro, but I feel like that would be something to say at the intro. So, anyways, don't want to hold you guys. Foza, peace out.